Captain's log, May 20th, 12:25 a.m. I've been attempting to rest, but I can only sleep so long before my back hurts and I have to get up. And so here I am. And I wanted to share that I had an epiphany recently. So I was at this spiritual retreat thing a few days ago. And there was one section, I'm trying to remember which talk it was, where they mentioned very briefly Moses and the burning bush. And the bush being, like Moses saw the bush was burning, but the bush wasn't actually burning. And when they were talking about that, I knew exactly what Moses saw because I've seen it as well. And I'm pretty sure that I already knew that that was what Moses had seen and that I've seen the same thing, but I forgot because my brain empties out really quick. And so I wanted to make this note to share. So it was about April of last year when I first saw it. And it looked, I think I made some videos trying to describe what I was seeing. I was just amazed because I was seeing it with my naked eyes. And at first I was seeing it in complete darkness. Like I had a room that was like pitch black. Because the first night I noticed it, I was like, okay, where's this light coming from? I was looking at all the windows, all the lights. I was like, how am I seeing this? Because what it looked like in complete darkness was flame-like tendrils of smoke moving very energetically in the air. And like there was a cloud of them over my bed. And then I couldn't find a source for the thing. So I just laid there like kind of amazed, like, what is this thing that I'm seeing? And it's really fascinating that I'm seeing this with my naked eye. I sensed a presence, but I didn't really get any communication from whatever it was. I did move my hand and it seemed to respond, and I could move my hand up into it and I could see it in front of my hand. Despite the fact that there was like no light in the room, so my hand's like black moving through it. Okay, well, the next day I lay down and I'm in bed for over 20 minutes and I open my eyes and there it is again, but it looks slightly different. It's the same sort of like flame-like tendrils of smoke, but this time they were like perfectly shaped flowers all over the, well, not the ceiling because it was like floating like a cloud, but like the surface was undulating. And I might be getting the days out of order in which I saw these different things. And then there was another night where it was like fractal type shapes and like sort of like feathery things. And there was a night where it kind of looked like a cloud of jellyfish with their tendrils coming down. And I would notice that that if I moved my hand through the air, the temperature would change in places. And that kept going on for I think it went on for at least 5 or 6 days in a row, maybe a little longer. And later on, and this was in Ohio, later on I came back to Alabama and I was curious if I would see these things again in Alabama, and I had to make my room like super, super dark, and I couldn't make it completely dark, so I made it as dark as I could, and then I went and I stood in my closet, and then I stood in like a corner trying to block out like all extra light from my vision. And it was really cool. I did see the same things again, and one of the times I saw it in Alabama, it was like I was a giant looking down into a sky, and there were little clouds, and like there were lights that would appear and move around, and I saw little lightning storms. It was so cool. Like I can't, there have been plenty of times where I tried to see these things and I couldn't see it. I don't know, I guess I'm just going to assume my energy has to be at a certain state. Thus the need for me to isolate a lot. Like I've been trying to isolate a lot as part of my spiritual practice because that allows me to balance my energy and to be able to tap in spiritually to the different like gifts of the Spirit that I've been blessed with. The seeing things was a big surprise and really amazing. And there were a few other nights, and the first thing that happened was I was on TikTok one night, and sometimes like magic happens on TikTok, like just random stuff will pop up in the feed, and it's like synchronicity. And this one night, this video popped up with a picture of something called a seraphim, and it was like this, I don't know, six-winged, like angelic being thing, and it looked kind of creepy, face or whatever. And when I saw that picture, I knew that was exactly what I had seen one of the nights that I saw stuff. And later I was told that basically everything I was seeing was either seraphim or some sort of energy beings, like kind of like seeing through dimensions or something like that. And then there was one time that G told me that the seraphim were coming to inspect me. They didn't believe something that G had told them, and so they were coming to inspect me for themselves. Yeah, that's a fun story. I'm not prepared to share all my fun stories with the general public yet, because honestly, you don't deserve them. But man, I've got some really great stories. I really need to write them down. Like right now, they just all exist as like video journals and stuff. Well, a few little written journals here and there. But yeah, anyways, it's exactly what Moses saw. Like, I have actually since then seen them not in the daytime, but in an illuminated situation. Oh, man, let me tell you, this is always what happens when I start talking about spiritual stuff. I start yawning constantly, despite having just slept. Which reminds me that the first year that I was really experiencing a lot of spiritual stuff intensely, or really like it wasn't the first year, but there was like a multi-month period. It was crazy because anytime I would try to do something that wasn't on my spiritual homework list, I swear I felt like God was trying to put me to sleep. It's like I suddenly started having like narcoleptic instances. And I had some freelance work that I had to do, and I try to keep my word when I say I'm going to do something. And so like I fought really hard to finish that work, despite feeling like someone was trying to supernaturally put me to sleep. Anyways, if you actually watch this video, kudos to you. I hope you're entertained, but like it's 100% true. Like I totally see things. I get messages all the time, and like all the clairvoyant, audient gifts of the spirit stuff. Yeah, guys. Anyways, I need to go isolate. I'm going to go isolate and become a sage. One thing I definitely realized at this latest retreat is I can't go somewhere where there's a lot of music and energy, especially like good energy, and keep my body from doing its movement thing. And so I've got to figure out either I'm just going to like embrace even more fully being the crazy awesome weirdo in the room, which still makes me a little nervous, or I've just got to find more communities where I feel comfortable. It's just I still don't do well with like attention in person from people. Like I've been trying, some of my video stuff, like doing the video and pushing myself to dance in public and stuff. Like I'm trying to push my boundaries so that I will become more comfortable speaking, performing, whatever, in front of other people. Mostly just get more comfortable. Like I channel, and it's really hard for me to channel if other people are around, because I'm distracted by their presence and their energy and stuff. So yeah, anyways, all right, I'm going to try and rest now. Peace, guys.